You paid $22 for ribs. Did you actually buy a microwaved frozen dinner with extra sauce and a side of marketing? Current and former employees say 70 to 80% of items here are reheated.
So I know that Applebee's is very focused on loyalty marketing right now for 2025, and that's obviously in your area. So give me an idea of what Applebee's goals are. And
we look at loyalty a little bit differently than some of our peers in the industry. We really look at engagement and ways that we can bring value to our guests and ways that are non-traditional. Applebee's loyalty program has traditionally been a very linear email marketing program. A few years ago, we rebranded it as Club Applebees. We have over 8.5 million members, and that is growing every single day.
Not cooked. That includes those baby back ribs. Let's start with the tell. Rubbery pull, dry edges, cold center. We'll compare the menu language to what staff describe. Pre-cooked ribs, reheated and doused in sauce. Then break down what that means for your wallet and your plate. By the end, you'll know how to spot reheated protein in seconds and avoid the worst value traps. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
The biggest full-service restaurant chain in the US. At its peak, nearly 1,900 restaurants and about $5 billion in sales. That was Applebee's for much of the 2000s. But since its peak around a decade ago, the brand has struggled to grow its sales and store count. US sales are down around $600 million, and the brand has closed more than 350 locations. Wall Street once loved its parent company, Dine Brands.
Applebee's and IHOP are both the #1 brands in their respective categories. Plus, remember, the results were real good.
You ordered ribs for the grill, so why do they tug like a rubber band and fade to lukewarm halfway through the rack? The truth is, what the menu sells and what your teeth meet are not the same thing. Let's start with the claim employees describe. Most items hit a microwave at some point. Ribs are the showpiece. They're priced like slow craft, pitched as flame finished, and plated to look like backyard smoke. But back of house is a different story. Those racks often arrive vacuum sealed and pre-cooked, chilled, or frozen for shelf life. On the line, they're portioned, reheated to temp, painted with sauce, and set on a hot plate. Fire-grilled becomes a quick mark or a sizzle finish, not the engine that cooks the meat. That process changes texture. Low and slow melts collagen to silk.
Applebee's is closing a few restaurants a year, right? And we're working hard to get that number positive. So at this point in time, investors are focusing on what they believe is the weaker link in the chain.
Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, and more recently its biggest competitor Chili's have all surpassed Applebee's in terms of overall sales. The share price of Chili's parent company, Brinker International, is up around 150% over the...
You would think that if you're contracting your footprint, that some of those sales would find their way into another Applebee's, but the sales are going elsewhere.
Blasts of heat make it tighten. Edges dry while the center lags. Sauce masks bland notes but not bounce. It's like reheating steak in a dorm microwave. You get heat somewhere, not everywhere. Here's your simple table test. Grip a bone and tug. If the bone slides clean with a moist sheen, you're in good shape. If it strings, squeaks, and the edges look matte and dry, that's a reheat tell. Check the center heat with a small bite. Warm steam outside. Cool middle inside, case closed. Now the money bit. Rib plates run in the high teens to low 20s. The inputs are bulk pre-cooked meat and frozen sides like fries and slaw, which keep costs down. The margin doesn't come from craftsmanship. It comes from speed and staging. Mini scene. The plate arrives, glossy and hot to the touch. 2 bites later, the center turns lukewarm. The glaze shouts, the chew bounces back. That's not a grill doing the work. That's a cycle.
There's just nothing exciting to grasp onto unless you can show that you can develop. And unfortunately, Dine has been shrinking for a number of years.
We are crazy undervalued, in our opinion. When you look at the fundamentals of the company, the cash flow that we generate.
Dine Brands' recent struggles with Applebee's have really centered on its inability to grow sales at its existing restaurants. Applebee's has seen declines for 8 consecutive quarters.
Year in and year out, the stock at the moment is not anticipating what we think are the fundamentals of the company and the potential for growth.
If I were to poll the investors in terms of what's important to the stock, I would say Applebee's same-store sales, for whatever reason, kind of punches above its weight.
Line cooks often follow timing charts, microwave seconds, sauce steps, plate map. The grill is branding or a fast mark at the end. Once you spot the rubbery pull, dry edge gloss, and cold center, you can save $20 plus tip. And if ribs run on reheat, what else on that menu is more assembly line than kitchen? If the ribs were your warning shot, the pasta is the punchline. You read a poem on the menu and then it lands like a TV dinner with better lighting. That mismatch isn't an accident. It's the model. Let's start with the reheating station employees describe.
And it might just have to do with, okay, well, we can kind of benchmark it against Chili's, we can benchmark it against Darden. IHOP actually is the bigger profit contributor, largely because they own some real estate.
Components arrive frozen or chilled. Pasta is pre-cooked, then cooled and stored. Proteins are pre-cooked, portioned, and bagged. Sauces come from jars or tubs. The line is built to assemble fast and sell the look of fresh. Heat, pour, toss, plate, done. The copy says made to order. Back line says timers, not simmer. Pre-cooked noodles get a second life in the microwave and lose their bite. Cream sauces need thickeners to survive the freeze thaw, so they turn pasty. Shrimp goes chalky. Chicken turns dry and bouncy. You taste bold, but you chew factory. Now the real kicker, the showcase plates. Bourbon Street chicken and shrimp runs 2 reheats for 2 proteins, usually separate, then they meet on a hot skillet for sizzle theater. The sound sells freshness. The fork says otherwise: rubbery chicken, tough shrimp, limp veg riding spice. Fiesta lime chicken follows the same playbook. Rice is pre-cooked, veg comes frozen, chicken is pre-cooked and held. Sauce pours from a container. Each part gets its own heat cycle, then it all gets staged on one plate. The rice clumps, the veg leaks water, the chicken squeaks. Even salads aren't a safe house. Bagged lettuce, bottle dressing, and microwave chicken top to bottom. The greens sit pre-cut. The toppings pour from bags. The grill in the name is a step in branding, not in cooking. Now the math. You pay in the $12 to $22 band. The ingredients ride bulk and long shelf life. The profit comes from speed and staging, while the grill story props up the price. Your move: skip pasta and mixed plates. If you have to eat, pick simpler items that don't suffer in a microwave. Lean on drinks or basic apps if you must. You now know the tells and the traps. Next up is where your money should actually go. If the bite reads rubbery, mushy, or chalky, you're paying sit-down prices for box-line food. Watch the bone pull, the edge gloss, and the center heat. That trio tells the story fast. Question the grill tale. Scan for the tells. Vote with your order. Skip the reheated heavy hitters and steer toward items that survive heat better, like simple salads with dressing on the side or fry basket apps. Better yet, favor spots that cook fresh and treat your money with respect. Share this so your friends stop funding microwave theater. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets.